All right, today we're going to dive into a really powerful novel by Preeti Shenoy called The Secret Wish List. It's all about this woman, Diksha, who kind of wakes up one day and realizes she has no idea who she is anymore. After years of being the perfect wife, the perfect mother, she's just lost. So this is her story, her journey of finding herself all over again. I mean, that's a heavy question, right? And it's really at the very heart of Diksha's story. I think it's something a lot of us can relate to on some level. So let's get into it and see how she starts to figure things out.
Okay, so when we first meet Diksha, her life looks, perfect. Like from the outside looking in, she has it all. But if you scratch just beneath that shiny surface, you find this deep, growing sense of emptiness.
Think about it. For 15 years, she has poured everything into her husband, Sandeep, and their son. She's played that role of the perfect homemaker to a T. But what's her reality? She feels completely unappreciated, invisible in her own house. She actually says she feels more like a maidservant and cook than a real partner. And there's actually a term for this, the lost self. It's that feeling when all the labels you wear, wife, mother, daughter, employee, they just completely take over. They totally overshadow who you are deep down. All your own hopes and dreams, they get buried so deep you almost forget they were ever there. And that's exactly where Diksha finds herself.
And listen to this. In her own words, this is what she says. This is the moment it all starts to click for her. It's this really painful realization that by being perfect for everyone else, she's pretty much erased herself from the picture. So, you might be asking, how does she even begin to change? I mean, where do you start? Well, it takes something big, a real catalyst to shake her out of this rut and make her face just how unhappy she really is.
It all starts with a family tragedy, actually. Her cousin Viba's husband suddenly passes away and Diksha goes to be there for her. But in a twist, it's Viba who ends up helping Diksha. She just looks at her and asks this one simple but totally devastating question. Are you really happy? And bam, that one question just shatters the perfect image Diksha had been holding up for years. And that conversation, it sparks something. Diksha does something she hasn't done in ages. She creates something just for herself. It's a secret wish list. And we're not talking about, climbing Mount Everest or anything. It's a list of simple things, little joys she's forgotten. Things like learning to dance, wearing clothes that she actually likes, just having some fun. It's basically her roadmap back to herself.
Okay, so making a list is a great start, right? But actually doing something, that's the hard part. That's the game changer. And for Diksha, that very first step involves music and rhythm and a little bit of salsa.
So she goes for it. First thing on the list, salsa dancing. And here's the key part. She does it all in secret. She's online, looking up studios, signing up for a free demo session, all without telling her husband. And you realize this is about so much more than just dancing. This is her carving out one tiny corner of her life that is 100% hers. And the feeling she gets, it's electric. It's not just the dance itself. It's that little act of rebellion, The thrill of having a secret that is hers and hers alone. It's a spark, a feeling of pure excitement that she hasn't felt in her entire 15 years of marriage. So, just as Diksha is starting to feel like herself again, just as she's finding her rhythm, life throws a massive curveball her way. You could call it a complication, or maybe it was exactly what needed to happen. And it comes in the form of someone from her past. She gets a phone call, totally out of the blue. And on the other end is Ankit, her first love, from when they were teenagers. Their story got cut short way back when, and for almost 2 decades, they've lived completely separate lives. But that kind of connection, it doesn't just disappear.
So when they finally decide to meet up, wow, it's not just a spark, it's a full-on bonfire. The chemistry is instantaneous, it's powerful, and it feels like no time has passed at all. And it's such a huge, almost painful contrast to the cold, empty feeling of her marriage.
The thing is, Ankit sees her. Not the wife, not the mother. He sees the Diksha she had forgotten existed. And rediscovering that side of herself, that passion, it's absolutely intoxicating. And it leads them into an affair that feels at the same time completely right and also terrifyingly wrong.
So now you've got Diksha living this double life, right? On one hand, she's the dutiful wife at home. On the other, she's this vibrant woman falling in love and learning to dance. You just know these two worlds can't stay separate forever. They are headed straight for a collision.
And it happens. Someone talks, there's gossip, and her husband Sandeep finds out about her secret. His reaction? It's not what you'd call understanding.
It is pure, uncontrolled rage. He actually storms into her salsa class, and right there, in front of everyone, he physically attacks her dance instructor.
Can you even imagine? In that single, awful moment of sheer terror and public humiliation, Diksha's two worlds don't just collide. They completely and utterly explode.
But you know, sometimes hitting rock bottom is exactly what you need. That moment of total destruction, it can also bring total clarity. And this horrifying, humiliating event, it becomes the final push that Diksha needed all along. It's like, once the worst has happened, there's nothing left to fear. The public shame is so great, it's actually liberating. She's not trapped between two lives anymore. Now, she's ready to build one single new life, and this time it's gonna be on her terms.
And boy, does she. She taps into this strength she never even knew she had. She looks Sandeep in the eye and tells him she's leaving. She faces her family and their judgment head on. And then she announces her dream out loud. She's going to open her own dance academy. And get this, in the most surprising twist, her own mother-in-law is the one who supports her, finally admitting she sees how much Diksha has given up over the years.
And that right there, that brings her whole journey full circle. She's not just a wife or a mother anymore. Those labels don't define her. She is Diksha, a woman who is finally claiming her own life. So, that brings us all the way back to where we started, to that question. Diksha's entire transformation began with a simple, secret list. It really makes you think, doesn't it? What's on your secret wish list? What's one small thing you could do just for you to feel a little more like yourself?
Hey, if you enjoyed breaking down this story with me, please hit that subscribe button for more explainers like this one. And of course, a like and a share always helps. Thanks so much for watching.